Our first speaker is Mr. Joseph Nguyen, who is currently also serving as the president of the Vietnamese Apostolate. So Joseph, thank you.
Thank you, Maryland. My name is Joseph Nguyen. In fact, our president is busy today, so he can't help us. May I have a special request? To my presentation in Vietnamese? Much easier for me. Okay, today I would like to share with you about the Vietnamese Catholics in the United States, and also about the Vietnamese Catholic community in this Diocese of Metuchen in general. So, there are three parts in my presentation: the Vietnamese Exodus, the Vietnamese American Catholics, the Vietnamese Catholic community in this Diocese of Metuchen. And now we are going to do the first one. Oh yeah, thank you. The story looks like long, but I try my best to make it short. Okay, for the Vietnamese Exodus, you know that in 1954, Vietnam was divided into two states. The North is communist, the South is anti-communist. And for that reason, there are 1 million people from the North fled to the South to avoid communism. And 60% of them are Catholics. And the American government helped us to move. So they sent ships to move us from north to south. And you see that that's the operation of the passage to freedom from north to south. And people on board. So the Vietnamese from the north, they never gave up their ambition to take over the south. So that's why the 20 years of war between the North and the South happened. And unfortunately, in April 1975, the South collapsed, and the whole country is communist. To live under the communist regime is very, very tough. Everywhere you go, you hear people complaining about fear and persecution from the government. And religions are oppressed, freedom of worship is restricted, seminaries are closed, and all the ordination of priests are banned. People are living in famine, in poverty. And around 1 million of officers and officials from the former government, they are sent to re-education camps, and thousands, hundreds of thousands of them died in re-education camps. A lot of families are destroyed. People are put in prison without charges, without trial. For example, the late Cardinal Nguyen, he was put in prison in re-education camps for 13 years. So living in such conditions, everybody like to flee from the communism, and that's why the Exodus appears. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, in 20 years, since 1975, there are 1.5 million people fled Vietnam by boat to neighboring countries. And it's estimated that at least 250,000 died during the escapes on the high seas. For example, they are being killed by pirates, by dehydration, by starvation, and being drowned. So how did we escape? If you look at the map, the purple map of Vietnam, we can use the shipping, fishing boats to escape to Philippines, to Malaysia, to Indonesia, to Thailand, or even go to South Australia. For myself, for the first escape, I failed. For the second time, my wife, well, at the time, my friend, we were put in prison for 1 month. But only for the third time, we escaped successfully from Vietnam to Thailand. We picked the short way, but a lot of dangers because a lot of patrol boats chase us. But finally, we succeed to like high speed and we escape. And I can show you some of the pictures of the boat people. It's very crowded in the oceans. This one, luckily, is small boat, but they are rescued by the Navy ship. And this one seems like they're in trouble in the ocean. So you know now why we are here, we escaped. And now for the second part, I would like to talk about the Vietnamese American Catholics. For immigrants, they leave their countries by choice. They know the date and time of the arrival. And when they come there, there's somebody to pick them up to welcome them. For us as refugees, we escape by night, very dangerous, empty hands, and being afraid to be caught. And we don't know we are going to survive the dangerous trip or not, we don't know. So when we come to the refugees camps, or later on go to the United States, we rely on the help, the assistance, and the compassion of local people, of the United Nations, of the United States government. According to the 2000 census, there were 1 million people, Vietnamese, in the United States. Among them, 30% are Catholic. And in compared to Vietnam, there's only 8% Catholic. Among the refugees population, there's a high rate of vocations. And these numbers come from the 2006 statistics. There are 700 priests, 1,200 sisters. There are 200 Vietnamese communities, 41 personal parishes. And in 2010, 2 years ago, the census saying that there are 1.7 million people in the Vietnamese in here. Most of them live in warm states like California, Texas, Louisiana, something like that. Talking about the Vietnamese Catholic faith, I think by nature, the Vietnamese people, they have a strong faith in God. And even if I think we don't know much about the knowledge of the theology or philosophy, or maybe about God or the church, but by nature, the faith is pretty strong by nature. So we traditional faith practices are like going to Mass daily. There's a strong devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Blessed Mother, and to Saint Joseph. Pray the Rosary is a very common way of praying by Vietnamese people. For Vietnamese people, we respect priests and religious. Vocations are fostered in the family. It seems like in families, grandparents and parents are like teachers of gospel values to the kids. And because Vietnamese families are big, so parents usually hope at least there's one child to be a priest or to be a nun. For special Vietnamese feasts and events, we have 117 martyrs canonized by Pope John Paul II in 1988. And the feast day is November 24. During those years of persecution, people are afraid and they hide in the forest. And our Mother, Our Lady of Laban, appeared to them, to comfort them, to make them stronger. And that's why she appeared as a protective mother. And that's why the Vietnamese people have a strong devotion to our mother. In the United States, every year around August, in Carthage, Missouri, there's a Marian Days. It's an annual festival and pilgrimage for all the Vietnamese Catholics. And there are usually around 50,000 to 80,000 attend that event. It's very big. And I can show you the picture of the 117 martyrs. And among them, there are also European missionaries. On the left, it's Our Lady of Lavang appeared to the persecuted, according to the artist. And on the right, that's a statue in St. James now. On Sundays, every Sunday, we pray to our Mother very effectively. Procession in Marian Days in 2010. We know part A, the Vietnamese Exodus, why we are here. We talked about who we are, Vietnamese American Catholics, and now I'm talking about the Vietnamese Catholic community in this Diocese of Metuchen. When we come to the United States, we brought culture and faith together with us. We had troubles, we have struggles at the beginning for language, for culture, for jobs, but we have joy because we are living in a country of freedom, and faith, religion is our center, and together we practice our traditional faith in our language, and we try to form a faith community to support our needs with the encouragement of the Diocese of Metuchen. In 1987, the Vietnamese Catholic community was established. First, we were in St. Francis Cathedral for 2 years, and then we moved to St. Teresa Mission Church at Highland Park. Because the church is very small on Sundays, people had to stand outside the church to attend the Mass. So in 1995, we moved to St. James Church. And as of now, we have been in there for 16 years. Altogether, our Vietnamese Catholic community in this diocese is 25 years old. And we are going to celebrate our 25th anniversary on June 17th. And Bishop Budkowski will come to celebrate the Mass with us. It's a special milestone for our community. And we definitely have to thank you, God, for all the blessings. We also thank you, the Diocese of Metuchen, with their encouragement. We also thank you, the pastors and all parishioners of the 3 churches who welcome us so that we can have a place to worship God, especially St. James Parish. For us, the church is a place of worship, yes, but it's also a community, a center of all activities, and we consider the church is like a home away from home. In events like Easter or Christmas or First Communion or Confirmation, we used to have Mass upstairs in the church, and after that we come down to the basement and we get together very happily. I think Father Pierre is the first Vietnamese priest incarnated to this diocese. And we really need a Vietnamese priest who can say the Mass in Vietnamese, who can hear the confessions in Vietnamese, or he can do the last rite for the people who are sick. As of now, in our community, we have 200 families spreading around, but most concentrated in Piscataway, in Addison, in St. Fields. And in terms of Vietnamese priests, we are proud to have our priest here, Father Peter, smiling and rising star. In terms of structure, we have all the necessary ministries, like from a small parish. We have a ministry of liturgy, for formation, a youth ministry, and we have all the good religious organizations. I talked about a little bit about CLC, Christian Life Community. It's a spirituality from St. Ignatius of Loyola. And his spiritual exercises get us very good. So we have 2 groups. one adult and one youth, and all of us here belong to either youth group or the adult group. How do we keep our Catholic faith? We promote family prayer, pray together, stay together. I strongly believe on this. I remember that for all the years when before my daughter comes to college, for all the years in school, we used to pray at home after dinner before going to bed. And I think to give the children, our daughter, good habits to pray, and so that later on, hopefully, it will help her. We also have a prayer service in honor of our Blessed Mother each Saturday at a family's home. This is like a culture and faith married together. We have also land and event retreat from Friday to Sunday. We have soon the land retreat. We also have a Mass and Eucharistic adoration on the first Friday of the month. We have a pastoral council members. Usually every year we go to a silent retreat, as I said, from the CLC. So we can have more energy, and so that we can bring energy and faith back to our community so that we can serve our community better. We have all the social and cultural activities. We have the Vietnamese language classes for Catholic and non-Catholic children. We have annual community picnic. It's around August at the Assumption of our Mother because she's the patron saint of our community. Tết, it means Vietnamese New Year. It's a big festival for us. In Vietnam, we celebrate Tết for 3 days. But in here, due to some conditions, we celebrate in 1 day. Because that is very important to us because all the fundamental values of our culture is unpacked. We start with the New Year Mass, and then we have a cultural performance show and entertainment until midnight. And it's a free admission, so next year if you can come, please. And all the events are posted in the website of Multicultural of the Diocese. Here we show some pictures of our activities. In 2010, Bishop Witkowski came to celebrate the Mass with us, the Vietnamese language class, adult choir, the New Year Mass in January, some performance show. For the last 6 years, our community is growing. And thanks for the leadership of Father Pierre. And we are growing, but we have some concerns. There are some areas we need to improve. Like as of now, we have first communion and confirmation classes only. We wish to have continuing religious education for all the kids. We wish to have a Mass schedule more convenient because as of now we have a 3 o'clock Mass on Sunday. It's a little bit inconvenient for us for all the activities. We wish to have a youth Mass in English. We also need to help youth and young adults to be more Catholic and also more Vietnamese. Opportunities. We are living in a country of free faith. We enjoy it. America is also a land of opportunities, not in terms of economic, but also in terms of spiritual life. Because personally, since the day I'm here, I learned a lot about spirituality, and it enriched my life, my family. In Vietnam, the teaching emphasizes on personal, individual salvation and after life. But in here, we have opportunity to learn about and to get involved in issues of justice and peace and human life. Vietnamese people are very generous, especially when there's a natural disaster in Vietnam, so a lot of contributions sent to Vietnam. But somehow, sometimes I feel like we are more concerned to our families, to our country, or to our community, to the welfare of the people still living in Vietnam, and we neglect the welfare of others, of society, of church. So I think we need to improve that. For specifically in this diocese, the annual bishop appeal is one of the opportunity we can improve. And it seems like a sign of gratitude, thanks to God, thanks to the everybody who helped us. Like originally when we are in refugee camps, a lot of help come from the United States, United Nations. And when coming here, a lot of help from local government, from USCC, United States conference, Catholic conference. So in here we can improve that too. Some personal reflections. Looking back the past 25 years, I see that we received a lot of blessings from God. And from the day we are in Vietnam, living in despair under the communist regime, to the dangerous and risky adventure, escape, to the arrival to the refugee camp, to the United States, and finally the establishment of our community in this diocese, I see that we receive a lot of blessings from God. And it's like God has done great things for us. In the Old Testament, I remember God commanded Moses to bring the people of Israel out of Egypt to the Promised Land. And for these days, God did the same thing to us. So God bring us here to this Promised Land in the Diocese of Metuchen, in New Jersey, in the United States. We enjoy. For all those events, I don't think they are coincidence or by luck, but I think those are from divine providence from God. And I believe that God has a plan for each of us, especially us in this country. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening to my